Welcome to the Unlimited Mindset, how to have more success, time, freedom, and peace of mind with your host, Camilla Calberg. Are you ready for an easier way to create a great life? Learn to shift what no longer serves you. On the Unlimited Mindset, you develop understanding, awareness, and knowledge of being consciously aware. Camilla knows firsthand what results you can achieve when you commit yourself. She is the trusted advisor to successful leaders in the pharmaceutical industry with a desire to share what she knows with you. You are your own leader. Everything starts and ends with you. If you're ready to commit consistently and grow your mind, join in. The Unlimited Mindset starts now.
Welcome to this amazing show, The Unlimited Mindset. This is the premiere. This is the first time I do this on this platform, and I am super excited for this opportunity. The purpose of this entire show is to share my own story and to inspire you what you can do differently and what you can achieve more of if you change your mind. It is that easy to get more abundance in life, more happiness in all walks of life. I've done it myself and now teach and train so many other people. And I'm here, and that's my hope, to inspire you that you can do it too. So welcome on this amazing journey. We are co-creating your future. Today, I've dedicated this episode to talk about and share my story to the unlimited mindset. So hold the space, because I will share what's also is vulnerable for me. That is the only way to show up and really shift. That is to embrace where you are right now, be vulnerable and dare to go deep. Are you ready? I am. All right, let's get started. So we go back in time. If we could turn back time, we share, but we do. We turn back time to 2016. I just launched my own company, and I so much wanted to scale up, upgrade my company. I've been in BP, Shell, IBM, and served various clients in Europe, and I knew leadership. I fought, but now I learned a different way of viewing leadership. But I've done a lot of transformation and I've been there, worked from some major organizations. And I wanted to serve my clients even better. I had no idea how to scale up my business. It was kind of like hit the glass ceiling. I hit the ceiling and I was stuck in the black. How to upgrade my business. And I realized something. After being on the hunt for a mentor, I happened to meet who's now one of my amazing friends and part of my tribe, a coach. And as we were working and going really deep, I realized that my fears were blocking my creativity, and my fears were blocking me from moving forward. So you see, for you and for me to level up, it's nothing about taking another course. You can take as many courses as you want. But if fear is holding you back, if limiting beliefs are holding you back, then the courses that you invest money in will never come to fruition. And I realized that. Actually I got the opportunity to work on myself. I had never done that, and I found it very, very scary. Though I realized that something about what I tolerated. I tolerated too much. I tolerated serving people, serving clients who showed up not in alignment of my values. I tolerated in my private life to be a surrounded with people who I didn't feel respected me and who considered me as someone I should fit into their life. Tolerating this, crossing my own boundaries of what I really felt was okay, really took a toll on me. I was never really, truly happy. I never felt fulfilled. And that was one of the blocks that really prevented me from stepping into my greatness and my being. And I learned for the first time about toleration. We said that in English, but now we say. I tolerated too much. I had no idea either what my values were. What are your values? Do you know what your values are? And also, what do you tolerate that doesn't really set you up for success? You see, I tolerated too much. And that was one of the blocks I mentioned that prevented me from stepping into my greatness. And I was asked this question: how long are you willing to tolerate what you currently tolerate and which doesn't set you up for success? And I'm going to ask you that same question. My body's trembling now with excitement, but also my body's telling me how important this is. For 2 years, I tolerated being in a relationship that didn't set me up for success. But I wasn't ready to face my fears. So I let other people dictate. I gave them the control of how I showed up in my life and how I was going to play out my life. And I ask you that question again. And I invite you to think about this and go deep. What do you tolerate? And how long are you willing to tolerate what no longer serves you? And I also want to ask you this question. What are you ready and have a strong passion to create? You see, I ask these questions because now I'm a trusted advisor for amazing, successful people who want more. They know they want more, but they experience the same syndromes and symptoms that I did. But I know when you break through what you don't tolerate, and when you really start to own your passion and your calling, your true calling, then everything is going to shift. And it will for you too. So who are you being? Let me just put up my notes. Who are you being? So I didn't feel respected, obviously, because I let other people decide how I should show up, crossing my values, not respecting my own values. So how could I ever feel respected? How could I ever feel happy? And in this phase of realizing and discovering who I truly was, I also discovered I was introduced to the concept of non-negotiable values. What are your values? So I was asked that question. What are your values, Camilla? It took me more than one day to answer that question. And the other question was, what are your non-negotiables? And I'm going to ask you that same questions as those questions to you as well, because here it's really the shortcut to more success. When you find out what your values are and what your non-negotiables are, then it's so easy for you to say whether and choose whether the environment you're in right now serves you or not. I was in a relationship that was not meeting the values I would not negotiate on. That is my non-negotiables. And I was also serving some clients who showed up in a way that was so not in alignment of how I truly was, and I am. And that's my non-negotiables. And when I found my non-negotiables, guess what happened? It would it was so easy to step into my power and just say, no, I'm no longer ready to play this game. It was more difficult to pull the plug in my private life, but I was becoming so strong and confident in who I was becoming, because I knew that these leaders were not matching and were not in alignment of how I wanted to show up. And I encourage you as well, if you are ready to level up, if you're ready to create more impact, to think about what your non-negotiables are, what your values are. Even those two questions and that exercise will help you determine the environment you're in right now, the employer you serve right now. Is that the right place for you to be? Those clients I serve, the answer would be no. They tell me how toxic the environment is, and they're just going to work and work and work and don't really feel they have a life. And I'm missing the English word, but it's not about having a work-life balance, have more life than work. And the way they're being treated, and I'm talking about really top people here, top performers, they are compromising their values and non-negotiables. And that impacts success in all walks of life: mental health, physical health, relationships, finances. It did as well for me. Also how my clients and how I showed up as a mom. When I started to shift what I tolerated and what I didn't tolerate, my no negotiables, then suddenly everything started to shift. Also how I showed up for myself and as a mom. I'm a mom to a lovely, energetic, almost 9-year-old daughter. And I shifted. And we shifted as a family, and we shifted environment just by these two exercises. And before, since we're coming up to a break, I want you to remember, and I remember that you can create whatever you want in life. You can create whatever you want in life. Got to trust me on that. What you want to shift and be curious about is your thoughts. See, I was trapped in thoughts, thinking that I had to please other people in order to be successful. I don't know how I got that idea, but it seemed to be that was a rhythm, that was a pattern I was following. Nobody has told me to show up like that, but I think it's just society. But I became curious about how I could live a better life, and really finding my true self that I know later, but how to find a better life. I didn't want to work 60 hours plus. I want abundance. I want to have in life what I love the most. I didn't want to compromise working plus 60 hours, because if I really calculated how many my hourly salary, it wouldn't really be worth celebrating, wouldn't it? So that really is the essence of this whole show and what I'm going to share with you. So for you to start your own journey, be aware of the fear that is showing up in your life. What are you compromising? What are you really compromising? And then what are you tolerating? Sometimes I say to my clients, what shoebox are you putting yourself into? What are you accepting? Right? That is so, so important. And I want to ask you these questions. Who are you right now? Who are you? I can tell you who I was when I started the journey. I wasn't the person, I wasn't the Camilla I am today. I fitted in to an environment that was so far from my true soul and from my spirit of unconditional love and abundance. But that was me conforming. It's not even that, but conforming to social or society, social expectations. But there's also room to be you. And that's what I hope to inspire you as well, to tap into who you are, who you want to become. But it starts with the awareness of who you're being right now. And if you remember, I said, hold the space. Because this is vulnerable. It's scary to dive deep and discover, who am I really? I bet if we were having a conversation. And by the way, I do offer some complimentary sessions. So get on my website, www.calbergcoaching.com, and book one if you feel inspired. But if I were going to ask you the question, who are you? And how do you think you show up? You probably wouldn't put two right words together, because you may think you are showing up in a different way than you really are. But that's amazing, because then we have something to work from. So who are you? And the next question would then be, who do you want to become? I had no idea in the beginning of my journey, deep dive journey, who I wanted to become. I hadn't even no idea about what I tolerated that I didn't tolerate, and I didn't want to tolerate. But I was learning, and I'm learning every day who I want to become. And my journey is not complete. I'm a lifelong student, and I'm involving each and every day, and I enjoy it. And I know you can too. And so that's one thing that I teach and train my clients in. And I remind myself of each and every day. Like in your shift, it's not about your thoughts and how you show up in the fears, right? It's also like, it's not like, but it's also when you shift, how you show up also shift, or get to shift. Otherwise, you will never be ready for your next upgrade, your true upgrade that will come so easily and flow easily for you. So in this process, you want to reflect on, how do I talk to my daughter, my children? How do I talk to my husband, my spouse? How do I show up at work? How do I support my colleagues? How do I support my team members? How do I dress? How do I walk? How do I eat? Actually, how do I greet people? I'm taking on a challenge, say, smile for the next 30 days. Next 30 days, you're just going to smile. Is that easy for you to keep smiling, even though the tough may be hitting you? Or when the going gets tough, right? But it's a choice. It's a choice point. And that's when you find and feel the true power of transformation, and where you're going to create your future and your destiny, and finding who you really want to become. It's also in that discovery process, you find out how I show up that way, how I talk to my children. It's not really how I want to show up. It may be how your mom or your dad showed up for you. And you subconsciously copied those patterns, but it may not be your patterns, right? Really who you are. So thinking about how you want to talk, how you want to walk, eat, drink, go out of the car, close the car, everything. You're going when you go home, what do you do at home? But when you become this new version, what do you do instead? And I was starting to play with all these things to say, why is that important? Actually, it is important because I wanted to upgrade. But if I was going to upgrade, I had to do something differently. I no longer wanted to walk like that. No longer want to think like that. I no longer want to talk like that. It's a holistic being. You are a holistic being. And for you to upgrade and have a really unlimited mindset to create more abundance in all walks of life, that includes, well, that type of pattern of how you are showing up. Okay, but let's take a small break and then do that. All right, welcome back from the break. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. We've gone really deep. I have really shared some of my deepest, innermost secrets on my journey to abundance and effortless success. And as you can see, hopefully you can feel, is that it's not about taking another course. Some people ask me, oh, should I take on that course or that course and that course? No. What I say is like icing on the cake. Because if you're not really deep down confident, if there's limiting beliefs, fears showing up, whatever course you take, that will never come to fruition. So your journey to effortless success and more success, and you're ready for an upgrade, now it's time for you to upgrade your mind. Some people say the software, right? But let us just continue, because I'm super excited. I've prepared so many great hits things for you. So let us just continue on my journey, and let's see where it takes us. And remember, you can call in to my amazing producer, Jacob, or you can write into us, and I'm here to answer any questions. So we just talked before the show about, before the break. Who were you? What did you tolerate? That was not really what you wanted to tolerate. And that affected how you showed up in life. It affected your health. I experienced myself. Mental health was cracking. My physical health, even though I ran these many kilometers, I never seemed to lose weight. It's because my fear was holding on these extra kilos. I was so afraid in my private life, and I tolerated absolutely too much in my professional life. But here, when you start to discover that and explore where you are right now and what plateau you are standing on, then that's also fun to explore what new plateau you want to head to and go to. And so I did. So my question to you is, who do you want to become? You're ready for your next upgrade. And for example, I'm just about to launch a network just for men, top performers who are ready to create more impact in life, who are ready to level up their life, who are ready to embrace that life can be more meaningful, can have new flowers, flavors, colors, experiences, right? And they're ready to experience and learn how to shift perspectives. And with all that, it comes like, it's time now to a personality makeover. It may sound crazy, right? When I first heard that about personality makeover, is that what do you talk about? But it actually is true. I've done it, and I know it's worth it. So for your upgrade, who do you want to become? I got that question, really realizing, hitting me how I really showed up, how angry I was. I was taking things on different tests, and they showed how angry I was, it showed my limiting beliefs, what I feared the most, and also those fears held me prison in my own life. I was slowly sinking in quicksand. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get air. And I wasn't brave to say stop. Most people aren't. We're not brave enough to say, I don't want to show up. I don't want to be treated like that. This is me. This is me. This is me. That comes with practice, and it comes with deep inner love to yourself. Because who cares what the other people say about you? What matters to me is that you love yourself, that you find your own plateau of where you want to go next. That is what success is for me. It's not about whether you get that VP title or become a CEO in the next job. It's really about how have you transformed as a human being? Have you shifted your perspectives? Have you shifted your thoughts? Have you shifted your language and your energy? And you probably say, Camilla, what the heck are you talking about? So at least I did that when I was introduced to language and energy. I couldn't connect the dots. But in your upgrade, language plays an important role. Language, not in terms of I'm a Dane and I also speak Danish. Well, you may be Portuguese and you speak Portuguese, English, Spanish. It's not about that. What matters here when we talk about language is the words that you choose. You may use words that your parents use, that your peers use, that your CEO use to threaten people, right? We must do that. We have to do that. This is a force, and we don't really succeed when we use such language. Also, such language drains you from energy, doesn't set you up to success. I have trained myself in shifting my language, and I train and teach my clients because I am their accountability partner and help them shift language. Because just imagine when you shift your language, what would you be able to create more of? How would your relationships change? Just imagine that. Would you be considered as a trusted leader where people really show up and dare to be vulnerable rather than this watermelon syndrome where everybody reports we're all on green, but really you're all on red? I probably know that, and that frustrates you, and I do understand. The thing is that when you start to shift your language, you start to be more compassionate. Can you feel it? Because you start to really tap into who you want to become, who you truly are, I would rather say. That is a journey because you've been put in a box, conforming to social norms. Now you're actually finding yourself, you're grounding yourself, and doing your soul work, as Regan Hillier says. Do your soul work. Remember who you are. But here's what changes, and I have a small team, and I am practicing my language, my energy every day. Also, I can see how that shifts how people show up. I see the results that we create on a daily basis, also because I channel my energy. Now I channel my language. And I teach my daughter to do the same. So the question is, who do you want to become? And you may say, I can't change. It's not for me, I can't change. Or you may have heard some people say that to you. I've done this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. You cannot change. I just want to ask you one question. How true is that? How true is that? It's a choice. Either you want to change or you don't want to change. But the fact is, it's a choice. Most people are unaware, not aware, that how they show up is a choice. They don't know that every time they do something, they come to a choice point. They do what they do because they've done it for years. It's just autopilot. Keeps on going and rolling. And they have given out control of their life. But you can take back control. So who do you want to become? And start working from there. Let me just say here. So, but I came to the point of realization that as I wanted to scale my business and I started to face my fears and embracing them and make decisions that served me and not those I was working for in the relationship I was in, things started to shift. My first encounter, experience, challenge was to say no to customers. You say no to money on the table. They kept ringing me. And I said no. I was ready to shift my business. But in order for you to scale up, something that needs to let go, you need what you get to let go of. And I was told, advised, and I could see that I came to this choice point where I had to say no to clients that was not my future clients. In the beginning, it was a hard decision. It was not so easy to say no. But it became easier and easier as I started to own my dream and own my future. It's being this trusted advisor where I help people create new perspectives, help people really discover and own the true calling in life and how to get that. That's what it's all about for me. I've done it and you can too. So that was part of my realization, to say no to customers so I could serve those customers and those clients that were really my dream clients. And you would say, how can I use that? I'm in corporate world. I don't run my own company. How do you do that? See, you can apply the same methodology or same approach when if you're looking for a new job. I speak to quite a few people right now, very active on LinkedIn. And people share, and I really, really appreciate that they share, I'm looking for my next job. What we all are, right? At some point or another. And some people really just look and look and look. And they get really frustrated. And they may get the job, but they don't really feel comfortable in it. And here's about slowing down and telling yourself that the job opportunity that just be presented to you is that really what would make your heart sing? Would that really, really set you up for success? Or are you tolerating? And I see this so many times. People say, okay, it doesn't match the salary I have right now, but it's okay. I get a new job and I work more hours. But is that the way to success? So you are to answer that question. If I was your sister, I would say, think twice. Why would you compromise on something that is a disservice to you? Right? You wouldn't do that. So it's about tapping into who you really become, what you're worth, and truly owning that. And that's also about saying no to jobs that are not in alignment of where you want to go next. Remember, we're talking about the plateau. You get to trust that something out there better and bigger for you. I know if you get to have a job and you need the money for it, then maybe that's a different game and you get to take it. But if you have money on the bank account, relax in the now. Be mindful of how you spend the money, but spend it with gratitude and look for the right job opportunities. And then we tap back into the energy. I know I'm sixing a bit, but you're tapping into the energy and your language, the mindset is that the language is, you get to believe that you're meant for something bigger. And in your upgrade, you also want to shift your language. What serves you, what doesn't serve you. And most people, and I've done this myself, you can't do your upgrade alone. People think they can do it, and I'm sorry to say you can't. It's not a pill that you can take and then just a prescription, and then you rewire your brain, your thoughts. That is not so. You get to really work and be curious about the thoughts that you think and the feelings and what you say, and say, but if I want to be that VP or the CEO or start my own company, how do I want to show up in life? How do I want to serve my clients? How do I want to serve my customers? Right? What language do you use? Are you then the embracing partner? Are you the engaging partner? Are you the inspiring partner? The inspiring CEO? How do you want to show up in life? Many people are not aware of this. And I think that's really sad. But that's why I've chosen to own this topic about the unlimited mindset and how to set leaders up for success, because there is so much more that you can choose to work on if you want more success the easier way. I hope it makes sense. If not, you know how to reach me. For example, Camilla@calbergcoaching.com. Let me just check my notes. So the way I scaled up was I worked with a mentor. And I've worked with various mentors. And I keep working with mentors, mindset mentors and business mentors. But mindset and businesses, you cannot scale without really understanding your mindset. And that's what we call this show the unlimited mindset. Unlimited means everything is possible. If you use language that limits your possibility, there should be a bell ringing, because everything is possible. We want to open our eyes. We want to see the future. We want to own the future, and we want to embrace the fears that shows up. And we want to dance with the fears and really tap into our heart space. That is the unlimited mindset. What it's all about. It's about finding your core and tapping into your heart space. And I learned this. I worked on my mindset. And I do this now on a daily basis, several times a day. I practice, tapping into my heart space, because I know that's my intuition. I know what's good for me. I know my next step. If I dare to slow down and listen and ask what my heart is telling me. Some people, when they start working with me, I ask each and every client, what you want to achieve? What is your big vision and your big dream? Because I know these questions I was asking myself. I my coach asked me those questions, and I found them so powerful that I now include them in my life and in the work I do. And most people say, I don't know. That is okay. But let's find out what your true calling is. Because I am a very strong believer that we all have a vision and a purpose in life. But there may be so many clouds out there that prevent you from seeing clearly. Maybe it may be that you are conformed to patterns and social beliefs and standards and cohorts that you don't really fit into, but you try to fit in because you were afraid of being lonely. Right? But stepping out and taking that bold decision to really start owning your life, it's worth every penny. It's worth every hour that you work on yourself. For me, that was really deep. Because that's what I did. It didn't come overnight. None of this mindset piece work comes overnight. It's a transformation that I know now. But owning my true calling, like this show, sharing my own transformation, sharing tools that I used and I keep using, and sharing stories that may resonate with you. That's really my true calling, because I want you to have a happier life. And that's success in all areas of life. So my question to you is, what do you want to create? And more, or even more importantly, I want you to remember that your freedom is waiting for you. Whatever you want to create in life, it's out there waiting for you. And you're not alone if you're afraid to take the next step. You're not alone if you don't know what the next step is. That's why I and so many other amazing people out there are here to hold your space and help you, guide you what to do differently. So in closing, what if you could set your dial to unlimited success? How would that be differently for you? What would be different for you? What would feel differently? What would you be able to create? And how would you be able to enjoy life more? There's so much to be unfolded, or you can unfold so much. And you can create abundant success and results if you really dare to lean forward and explore your pathway to freedom and unlimited success. As we are wrapping up this first episode, I am so grateful for you tuning in and for supporting me and celebrating with me on this amazing new show launch. I'm grateful for the opportunity I've been given and for the opportunity to connect with you. Remember where to find me. You can find me on LinkedIn, Camilla Calberg, or calbergcoaching.com. Reach out if you have any questions, and let's jump on a complimentary call and discover where you want to go next. If I can do it, so can you. Remember that. And remember who you are. Remember who you are. You can create whatever you want. if you're ready for it, if you're ready to work on your mindset. I know it's scary, but don't let that hold you back from living the most amazing life. And now Mami are just being singing and dancing until we are actually just finish it. This amazing episode. Next week, we're going to dive deep in again. So remember to bring a pad and a pen so we can take the next tiny step on your amazing transformation journey. And what else? I think that's it, actually. I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Now we're waiting.
You have been listening to The Unlimited Mindset, how to have more success, time, freedom, and peace of mind. Tune in every first and third Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com with your host, Camilla Calberg, as she helps you create a great life in an easier way. Learn the why, what, and how of conscious awareness and shift what no longer serves you. Camilla knows firsthand what results you can achieve when you commit yourself. Create your future today. For more information, visit calbergcoaching.com.